Let's go.
Can I offer you a coffee?
I'm a beer person.
Can I offer you a beer?
Please. This looks like a kitchen.
Yes.
Eh? For both beer and food.
Producing cheese here, then ice cream, and nowadays it's only beer.
Okay.
So because other members of the family did the ice cream and they stopped it, and the brewery got very big.
Yeah.
And all the time get to focus into making beer. Is there something you would like?
So I never had a chance to appreciate your beer. So perhaps, you know, we can start from something classic and then we'll go to something special, right?
Perfect. Boerenerf.
Boerenerf.
It means farmstead. It's an old Dutch word that means the farm and its fields.
Yeah, just like Hill Farmstead in the US,
yes,
right? That's
indeed.
another brewery. Also very good wild beer. Wow, this is a big bottle opener.
Every time we find some, we buy them and we renovate them. Because once we bought like a modern one, and it broke after some couple of months, and then we decided let's find a one that had been used in the past, refurbish it, and this will survive us.
I think this is like antique, right? Like,
yes,
from
exactly.
ancient times.
Most of them come out of Brussels, so in bars in Brussels that closed down, and then they were selling it, and then when we find one online, we buy them.
Nice.
So there we go to something classic.
Yeah.
So it's our traditional cuvée. We have two different geuzes, the normal one, the oude geus, and the cuvée. And the cuvée is a barrel selection.
Okay.
So also the age of the bottle is, the lambic that we use is older.
Yeah.
And we also select some barrels that develop some particular characters that we especially like to create the cuvée. Like the oude geus is more like a more traditional, very straightforward entry-level geus, whilst this one has more complexity.
Sure. It's from 2022. So like when you say a year, does it mean the oldest lambic or the youngest lambic?
When we put a year on it, it's a bottle year. It's not like the millésimes in wine, where you have like the harvest 1 year, you make the wine, and that's the year. So the lambics are older than the date on the bottle.
Okay.
So this is really the year we bottled.
Cheers. Yeah, it's good. It's complex, but also very easy to drink. It's a little bit funky, but mostly still like stone fruits, apple, pearl, and very good carbonation, easy to drink.
A lot of citrus, so we try to make complex products that are easy to drink. So that's an amateur, someone with a lot of knowledge, can really understand the different elements of the beer. But an entry-level person that has never drank it before can also enjoy it from the first time.
You purchased the lambic and the blend?
Yes. So we are a blender. This means that we buy wort from other breweries. So it's brewed, we work with 6 different breweries. So they brew it the first day, it comes over here, and then we make the first fermentation. And then we work it on several, we put it on barrels for several years. So 1, 2, 3 years in the most cases. And at 3 years, the product is in main cases really dry and has a lot of wood flavors. And it's, putting it longer on barrel does not bring a lot of extra flavor. So after 3 years, it's really ready to work with. We also produce a lot of wines. We make traditional wines that also go on barrels. And we like to blend. So blending lambic with other products. We also make our ciders and our meats. I have like 2 different bottles to show you. Like a Riesling, we bought those grapes. We made a traditional wine out of it, and then we back blend it at the end before bottling. So it's a lambic wine blend.
So you like wine as well?
Yes, we do.
Yeah.
To be honest, lambic has more in common with natural wine in taste, in production methods, than it does with beer. So the only thing that it has in common with traditional beer is that the base is beer wort, so malt wort, instead of grape wort. That we work, but then it goes on barrel the same way you would produce a natural wine. We also like to do some macerations. So we have the lambic, we put it on fruit. Here on the bottom is one of a very famous product we made this year. Unfortunately, it's some of our last bottles. But this is a sherry wine infused with vanilla. So I will also open a bottle afterwards. But it's less classic. It's also very smooth and very easy to drink, but with a lot of an explosion of flavors. It's also the second time we make it, so we learn our lessons from the first time.
Okay.
And then we made some more bottles, and now we really have the production process under control, and we will make a way larger volume. Where people are welcomed during our events, and every Saturday from 2 to 7. So the bar is open one day
2 to 7
in the week.
So you don't have leaks, right?
No. So that's good for us.
And it looks like a very ancient old building.
It is.
Yeah.
It was built in 1871. You have to imagine there is also an old brewery just on the right. We will have a look too. Yeah. It was built in 1876. But in the 19th centuries, you could not call like for a truck to deliver you the resources, so you had to build a farm. That was the only way to get the resources to produce. So the farm was built in 1871 and the brewery in 1876. So the time with the lambic, I would say after the Second World War, the interest went down, and then they closed their door in the 90s. But then we wanted to revive the heritage that has been created in the past.
Yeah.
Then we started to make beer, like traditional lambic beers, as they used to do here on the farm.
Nice.
Well, we started in 2020 with 10 barrels. Actually,
2020.
Those ones.
So what did you do before 2020?
Me and my partner, that is just over there.
Okay.
We worked for another brewery, Fontaine. That is like a kilometer away from here. There we learned some elements that we do today.
Yep.
And now we bring our own vision on the lambic beers that we produce.
So both of you worked for 3 Fontaine?
Yes, we were in the same team. So we started with 10 barrels, but 4 are missing. 500 liter barrels, because 4 we made flower pots out of it, because we couldn't reuse it again.
Okay.
But these are the very first barrels we used. So we started with 10 barrels, and now 4 years later we have approximately between 200 and 300 barrels, from 200 to 5,000 liters.
So where do you get your barrels from?
We mainly work with French oak from wine makers in France. When they deliver the barrels, in most cases, they are emptied, I would say like several days before delivering. And then there's still a lot of wine into the barrel. And then we rinse it with a beer. So we use always second-hand barrel. Yeah. When you roast it, as you tell it, that's to bring some vanilla taste into it. That's used especially in the whiskey and in some wine industry. But when we use it, we use the barrel as it is. Yeah. So then you can also get like the flavors from the wine. Okay. So the difference between a traditional beer, like I would call it a clean beer, it's when you control the process, you add yeast, and then the process goes on, and after several weeks you have your beer, re-fermentation, and you have your final product. We have the opposite. Yeah. That means that we want an infection from different yeast and bacteria to create the beer.
Hi, I'm Tian.
Tian, nice to meet you.
It's already the brewing season, right? Yeah. What it's called?
Yeah, if I remember completely, it's about 10 degrees when brewery starts to brew. Because when it gets hotter, you get the risk of infections. Yeah. Of wrong infections.
It's a very old location here. And you can see it written on the facade. It's 1876.
And the same inscription from the date is also on the barn. But you will be able to see it when we come back in.
Okay.
So as I told, 1876, and the farm is 1871.
It still exists and still
it's
looks
cultural
solid.
heritage.
Yeah.
So it's protected by the government to be stored this way. A long time ago, the brewery and the farm were both in my family, but the farm always kept on going. And now we're very lucky that this location is cultural heritage, and in that sense, everything is protected. Even though people live here, you cannot alter the outside. People really live here. Yeah. And the beautiful cellars are conserved. And this is actually one of the reasons the Boerenerf, which means farm and heritage in Flemish. Because erfgoed means heritage. And that's also, you're drinking right now the cuvée heritage, Boeren heritage, and trying to commemorate these beautiful buildings and the story of my family a long time ago, with the beautiful logo of the brewery, and also the cuvée heritage you're drinking right now. So we have a history part, and then we have the recent part, which is Vincent and our motivation. What are we doing right now? what is the future of lambic.
Yeah.
So we tell the future and we try to tell the history.
Yeah.
When Vincent and I, we started working together, and our first job was to make a barrel room from this barn. Every generation does something different.
Yeah.
Like this generation, we make a barrel room. My parents, they used to have cows there.
Mm-hmm.
My grandparents, they also used to store vegetables because the barn is older than a refrigerator. So
Yeah.
winter time, it was used to store vegetables
Yeah.
and for hay and straw for the
Yeah.
animals.
Yeah.
And now with barrels. So every generation in a tradition, every generation adds something. Every generation introduces something,
Yeah,
which is very important if you have tradition. You don't do it like 150 years ago.
It will come back later. Like people now really appreciate old-fashioned beer. Like lambic is revived, so it's good for you guys to reconnect with your ancestors, like hundreds of years ago, right?
That's why we are very proud to have this quality of gueuse,
Yeah.
to have a cuvée héritage talking about the story of what has been.
So the beers you are brewing, like, do you think they are similar to what your family has been brewing like 100 years ago?
That's a very difficult question.
Yeah, you don't know. Do you happen to find a old bottle under the bed or somewhere, the corner?
We still have inside.
Really?
We have bottles of gueuse
Let's
which
see.
are 60 years old.
Oh, I want to see.
But you cannot try.
Yeah, of course. 这瓶老贵滋真的是老贵滋，是他们家在70多年前，是在50年代那时候酿的。So where did you find it?
In this case,
Yeah.
in a very old cellar
Okay.
from a very old cafe which was closed.
Yeah.
And then somebody called me, Senne,
Okay.
we found bottles of more than 50 years ago.
Yeah.
Come now. I jump in my car, I go get them.
Okay.
And we found gueuse, and you can still see
Yeah.
it's still filled. Of
Yeah.
course, it's 70 years old.
所以这个故事是真的，就他们家真的是酿贵滋酿了，起码有100-200年。然后这一款是70年前的，他们把这个酒标的传承下来了。你看，还是类似的这个设计，其实一样的事情，连字体都是一样的。
Yeah, it's a gift from the family.
Yeah.
So can you introduce the beer?
It's like a more, I would say, exotic product we make.
Exotic.
It's like a sour cherry wine, made like a natural wine, infused with vanilla. It's very smooth. Hope you'll enjoy it.
Cheers. So there's like vanilla infused,
Yes.
vanilla and cherry.
This is cherry wine,
Yeah,
lambic,
Creek.
with
Bur-
vanilla of the bourbon variety.
We have another variety, like a Creek bourbon.
Yeah.
That's a traditional Creek that went on a bourbon barrel, but it's an other bottle.
Oh, so you do use bourbon barrel.
Yes, we do.
Nice. Yeah, I would say this one is very special. Like never tested this direction before. It has a character of as a creek, like a sour and fresh side, but the vanilla makes the notes more rounded, smooth.
Yes.
Has the smooth and the sourness at the same time, which is interesting, I think. Nice contrast.
But besides the traditional product, we have like a very innovating different product, like as I told you, blending with wine, cider, and meats.
Yeah. You guys both work as blenders at Three Fountain?
I'm an accountant, and Senne worked at the production part.
Okay.
And today we are having like the same relation as before.
Yeah.
So I manage like more the general part of the business, and Senne does the product from A to Z.
Okay. So you are like more on brewing and blending
That's my
your job.
job.
Yeah. So how long have you been?
Involved with lambic
Yeah.
since 2016.
So why did you want to decide to become a blender, a brewer?
First of all, when I was working in Fontaine, I was still very young, and I was super amazing beers, amazing work, amazing place to work at. So lambic was an amazing opportunity
Yeah.
because it's completely different than different beers. But I fell in love with lambic, working with lambic because it's a very professional, it's a very manual beer. You have to work with your hands. It's and the barrels and the filling and the emptying. It's not computers. It's never computers. And I was growing up on a farm. It was very important for me. I do not want to work on computers too much. I didn't like it too much. So working with lambic was something I could taste, I could smell, I could feel.
Yeah.
It was real work. 4 years working in lambic in a different brewery. We got the opportunity because the farm was having some difficulties. Let's do something different with the farm. Let's try to get farming and brewing together on this location. And then working together with Vincent, he managing the business side, me making the product. We have a very good relationship to have a better future combination brewing farming than only brewing or only farming.
Yeah.
The combination is stronger together. And my background before I was in lambic was nature and environment. So working with spontaneous fermentation, working with all these different barrels and trying to manage everything, it comes very natural to me.
Yeah. So natural environment. What did you do?
Aha.
Yeah.
But we have two kinds of goose. This talks a little bit about my background because I used to study about beetles.
Oh, 独
They
角
live here.
这个叫独角仙
And between spring and summer, they fly around the farm
Yeah.
because it's one of the most special beetles in Belgium. And we are very lucky to have them also here, very close to the farm.
So you help like study and preserve, protect the
Indeed.
species.
Ecological and biodiversity.
Wow.
That was really my main thing.
Combine your passion and your profession, also the family history. You know everything.
And keep this place
Yeah.
strong.
Yeah.
You want to open one yourself?
Oh yeah.
If you want to, we have this beautiful piece here.
So,
Okay, let me try it.
Anders dan deze hier. This one is easier.
No, I want to try the hard way.
Okay. Because then you have,
put it in,
but
Okay.
you have to put your hip.
grab it in. Don't worry. And when it's in, just the other side.
Okay. Wow.
And you can serve.
Thank you.
It's really an interpretation of spontaneous fermentation and barrel aging and trying to do a combination and translate lambic to cider,
Yeah.
translating lambic to honey wine. How can we make spontaneous fermented honey wine and cider, barrel age it, and then blend it to something? You can have some smooth wax notes you can get from the honey, from the wax from the honey, with some body and mouthfeel from the lambic,
Yeah.
and some acidity from the cider. It has a lot going. If you're on a farm, you're never alone. There's always people coming. My uncle, he comes here because he needs a tool. My godmother, she comes here and she cleans the tables. She brings sausages. This afternoon, the bar is open. So we have people coming in, we chat, we have some conversations. Sometimes these people, they say, next Saturday, can I help with something? They come help bottling.
Volunteer.
We have a lot of volunteering.
Ah.
It's amazing. If you're working with beer, you're never alone. We use wine glasses
Yeah.
because it really helps to get the best aromatic capacity.
好，如何打开倒蓝比克？ Wow.
Voila.
Can you explain your logic, why
So it's very important when we have working with a goose beer, we keep a little bit of sediment down in the bottle. In that way, everybody can enjoy a beautiful glass with clear beer. For the people who really love it, but working with goose, you always have sediment in the end.
Wow.
And it's very important we have this in the bottle because this keeps the bottle very well for aging. This helps sediment to keep the bottle for 10, 20 years. So it's really important, but we put it next to the serving, so we have people enjoying the best beer they can.
这个是桶底，
Yeah.
桶底它的酵母沉淀比较多，然后这个是比较完美的状态，比较澄清的状态。然后喝起来的时候，其实还是澄清点，它的风味是更足，然后碳化更高。然后这个的话只是喝一个开心，就是它是没什么碳化，然后也比较的厚，然后比较的圆滑，甜度也比较高一些。I see the logo. Can you like explain a little bit?
It's the ambition of Vincent and I. Of in the future we're gonna start have a brewery.
Yeah.
But it's a long-term game. But we also want to talk about our ambitions, of course, because we're still very young. And this is actually, in lambic tradition, every brewery has a special sign. A sign which is not used for bottles or for marketing reasons. It's a sign that is used to tell a barrel which barrel it is. We have 250 wooden barrels. This is a piece of heritage in combination with the cuvée heritage. It's the barrel sign of the old brewery. So if you go to a blendery and you see this sign, you will know from which brewery it comes. And the family name is Eylenbosch with an E, and this is an E.
Okay.
So it's 1, 2, 3, 4 generations of E. And we hope in the future, when we start brewing ourselves, we can reintroduce this logo not on a glass, but really on a wooden barrel. So that's one of our ambitions we are going to hope to make true in a few years.
Yeah.
This baby was born this year, and on the left-hand side, that was born last year. And they have a very thick coat, which is perfect, so they can stay in the field all year. Even if it's snowing, they don't care.
Because they have all the heritage,
And because of my dad, they say farmers never throw away anything.
Yeah.
Even if you have pieces of equipment of 40 years ago, we still have it.
Yeah.
We still have the old cases. Well, it's my dad.
Oh, it's your dad.
Yeah. He's always busy.
He's coming.
Dad is coming.
Bye.
He's enjoying his time.
People always want new, want more, want faster, want easy. No. Boerenerf, slow down. Take your time, easy. It's good as it is. Have a chat, and it doesn't always have to be faster, easier, cheaper. Oof.
It's like the moment we are having now.